The ad hoc committee will come to order. Roll call, you want to start with you? Oh, start with Vito.
Giardino here.
Jeff Weingart here.
Cindy Lewis.
Just Trudeau here.
Asdell here.
John Marker. Sam Olstead here.
Gary Rattle.
Laurie Pritzel O'Keefe here. Denise Barker.
Okay, certify the posting of the meeting.
Certify that on Friday, September 19th, 2025, the agenda for the Town of Rome Ad Hoc Committee meeting for Thursday, October 2nd was posted at the Rome Town Hall at 3 o'clock p.m., posted at Quick Trip LLC for 10 p.m., posted at Nakusa Port Edward State Bank for 15 p.m., and emailed to the Wisconsin Rapids Tribune at 3 o'clock p.m.
Okay, everybody should have a copy of the agenda. Do I hear a motion to approve?
Go ahead, Denise.
Second?
I'll second it. Denise motioned it. I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the agenda is approved. Next on the item is to approve the last meeting minutes of September 23.
And I have them right here if anybody wants to look at them. Basically, the only thing on there was discussion and possible action, was approval of the minutes, and we were just brainstorming ways to fight the solar farm, and then we were discussion about the September 27th meeting. So that was basically what the agenda, if anybody wants to see it.
Need a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
And I will second it. Oh, okay.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, the minutes are approved. So, the first item on the agenda is sort of an open forum here for anybody to bring forth anything that they heard, comments, good or bad, from our Saturday, September 27th meeting.
First of all, I'd like to ask you guys, did anybody get a count? Like, we didn't sign in. I kind of counted-ish.
Of what?
A count
Of what?
of people there of Saturday's meeting.
Well, no, but we had a count that I gave him of the sign-ups.
Yeah, it was that was 167, but there was a lot of folks that already signed. So.
I think Mark and I we think about 300.
That's what I kind of counted too, by clumps.
I mean, there was about 12 per row, and as you're going back,
Yep,
and then there's the seats alongside. So I was thinking about 250, 300,
yep, I was guessing about 300.
and there was people coming in and out. But one thing I'd like to ask, Carl, if you want to kind of enlighten us about what Dylan said yesterday from Channel 9 News. I saw him in the parking lot, and I did read the today what he posted.
I got a note from one of my high school classmates from Minnesota. She saw it in the news last night. I didn't even know they were doing it last night, but I guess it was.
Yeah, I saw it. He told me he was
This
going to
morning
do it.
too.
All right, I hadn't seen it yet, but she thought it was kind of interesting. Anyway,
You can go on their website, Carl, and see it.
yeah, I gave them everything we have for background information, that testimony that whoever this guy is, listed, and I put that out to everybody too. I have rebuttal on all of it. I gave them that. One of the things I told them that they need to look into wasn't just the situation in Morgan where the 2 out of the 3 board members were taking the money and the land, but I said, talking to our attorney, Stan, he goes, you might want to mention that that's illegal. The whole thing was illegal, technically. He said the DA should be involved, and I said you guys might want to look into that. So that might be a separate issue for these guys. They probably didn't bring it up on the notes, but they're going to look into that and say, why wasn't something happening here? It's my understanding that actually somebody is now looking into it to see, what laws are violated. Stan directed me to the statutes, and you can't take anything of value if you have any say in the matter. If it's a elected official, you got to be squeaky clean, and they weren't. So that was something that really bothered me about getting involved in that kind of stuff.
This article that we had, that I showed you the last meeting, the last part of it says we will discuss the retribution of going to pay the people.
Yeah.
So that's illegal.
No.
Not those people, but the board members.
Board members, if you're an elected official.
The board members. I mean, you give a board member some money, which way do you think he's going to vote? You think he's going to fight you? That was my concern. And my other concern was that the PSC would deal with a company like that. When I was in business, I would not deal with anybody that didn't come up, any lack of integrity, you're out. You're gone. We're not going to deal with you. But there's no integrity there with these people. You look at the lawsuit with Christiana, dig into that one. Another thing where they're showing their lack of integrity. So, and I know they're probably watching, but yeah, we're on. We're on to you.
Well, you saw what happened in Grant, too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, Carl. I got an email, and you got a copy on it from Emily from Channel 7.
Yeah.
And she did get what you sent to her. And she mentioned something about October 27th. And I
I haven't been able to look at that.
What is
up
that?
yet. I haven't looked that up yet. I don't know.
I didn't know what that was, and I didn't respond because,
I'll do some more research on it. I don't know what the 27th is.
because she mentioned something about she's been keeping track of this, and something's going to happen on the 27th. And I'm saying I thought it was going to be December 6th or 5th.
Yeah.
Third.
Well, one of the things is one of the things that this guy said that was that they've been sending me all sorts of correspondence. No, they sent me one for a JDA way back when, and since we're dealing with an attorney, I'm not going to respond to anything. So if they sent us anything, it should have gone to the attorney. But apparently, it's a lot of we'll say misinformation in there. As far as the 27th, I don't know what that is. On October 7th, if you're interested, Morgan's going to have their meeting. It'll be on their Facebook page if you want to watch it. I was on the phone with Lori. I was on the phone with Lori last night. She's the chairwoman over at Morgan. And she got a call. She asked if she could call me last night. It was late. I said, sure. She got a call from their insurance agent, and according to her and their insurance agent, they are not covered for any liability on a solar farm, and they're in the same boat as us. They have nothing to do with it. They don't want it, but the agent said that you're not liable for it. So that's why I was a little late this morning. I was on the phone with our insurance and asked him to look into it. And he said, well, he says, you probably don't have. I said, no, that's not good enough. I said, I'll bring it up with our attorney because we're meeting with him at 11, and I don't know if you all know how lawsuits work. When you sue everybody, and then let the court decide who's liability and limits.
And then they all get attorneys and all have a lot of
Exactly. So and they may not support us in that respect. I don't know. So we'll bring it up with Stan. If that's the case, we got cause then for an injunction. So
Something that entered my brain on Saturday for whatever reason. We talk about the potential for a fire and how devastating it would be. Do we have a way of requiring, let's say this goes through, can we require them to post a bond or to buy liability insurance in the billions of dollars in case there were a fire?
reading through statute yesterday, it's been busy. Yes, they have to supply insurance. The only problem is the unknowns. I remember from my high school chemistry class, when we threw sodium in water, you saw some sparks fly. When you threw a slight piece of lithium in water, sparks really flow. Water and lithium do not mix. That's why you don't put them out with water, because you're just going to create more of an issue. And I forgot all about that, but when I was thinking, oh yeah, you can't do that. That's why they say let it burn. But then I talked to Mark again about it the other day, and I said, well, letting it burn. He goes, yeah, you should let it burn. I said, okay. Anybody familiar with East Palestine, Ohio? They let it burn, and they had toxic fumes all over the place.
Well, yeah, they would have to evacuate probably a couple-mile radius of
I
whatever
think you
that fire
brought that
was.
up, and there's just too many unknowns for this whole thing to go on. So
It would devastate businesses
We
and
had the big fire with lithium batteries. They
Yeah.
evacuated
yeah,
like 3 miles diameter around it. One stage, and stage 2 was like 6 miles, and stage 3 was 10 miles of evacuation.
Now, my question would be on an evacuation, where would you evacuate the people? I mean,
nobody ever says that. They just say get
I'm
out.
saying, but if we are going to have a contingency plan, where are you going to put them?
I printed this out. Read it. It's 20 pages. Yeah, 20. I went through the whole thing a couple of times to get my response in there, but read through it. It's very vague on a lot of the issues. They do talk about the batteries, but they don't talk about the danger.
Oh, is that the thing that I read, that they basically didn't provide names, dates, or anything of some of their answers?
Yeah, pretty much. This is the one that they had to file with the PSC.
Talk to this people, or we talked to this group of people. We
Yeah,
had this
yeah. Oh, they got
didn't
community
say who
support.
was there. They didn't say how many were there.
Yeah.
So there could have been 3 people there.
I'll distribute this out. This was my response response back to them. I gave this to Stan, our attorney. Again, we're meeting with him today. Everything in red is my response, and just calling them out on everything, because it's a lot of bad information in there, let's put it that way.
So how do we, well, let's finish on. Did anybody hear any comments, good or bad, from anybody? Bonnie?
I had people requesting that if they could sign online for the petition, because a lot of people live out of state and they can't come in, but they own property here. But they wanted to know, for people who have friends here, if they could do it online. So,
Michelle asked me about that, and the requirements for a petition are loose or stringent depending on what they're for. Ours can be very loose. I told her just have them send an email in there with their support and their name on there. That's good enough. Yeah, that's all we need.
can you attach that to maybe
Sure.
information so that people are aware of it?
Yeah, I started doing one. There's one on Change.org online to do it, and I'm about halfway through it, and I was working on something else, so I haven't finished that one up yet. But that one would probably be a little more complicated. Just going on on your email and send it in your support, we can use that.
Okay, that's great, because there's a lot of people, they said they're in Green Bay and they can't get here,
Yeah.
but they get really concerned. So,
Anybody else have any comments?
I've got one. I was quite impressed by the amount of people that were anti this. I did not talk, and I talked to a lot of people who come through that door, and when they were leaving, I did not have one person come to me and say, "You guys are wrong." So, I think the sentiment of the people that showed up here were for no solar farms.
Anybody
it
else?
was a great presentation.
Yeah.
There was. Thank you for that, because you
Jeff
did a
really
great
good job.
job.
No problem, my pleasure.
Yeah, actually, I sent that whole thing on to Lori over at Morgan. She was watching it last night, and she gave you a lot of kudos. So,
I liked how I was off the camera. You could hear me, but you couldn't see me. That was a good thing.
as far as though the signs are in, we got the 500 signs to get them up. I put 2 at Cal's yesterday. I put one at the motel. I put one over by the library. I put one by the dump. I've got one out in front here. Dropped a few others off and just load them up. I'd like to, when these folks come in on Saturday, let's greet them with the signs. The banners are up. Put those out on Saturday or Sunday, whatever. I mean, yeah, everything's out. So we're
If they're not coming to get them, can you distribute them at the town?
sure. Yeah, whoever somebody wants them. We do have a Rome Outdoors. I talked to Tim. He's got some over there too. So he's open more hours.
The market's closed for the season, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
There was a gentleman that approached me before the meeting even started and wanted to know if the ad hoc committee had contacted President Trump and Ron Johnson. He felt strongly that we should find some support from both against the solar farm, and thought that that would be beneficial for the committee to work on. So I just wanted to pass that commentary along. And there was another thing, and the brain is fogged.
I sent an email to Ron Johnson. I didn't bother with the president because I figured by the time he saw it,
My wife wrote a letter. to
it would
the
be a year
president.
from now. What's that?
My wife wrote a letter to the president.
Good.
Sent it, so.
Well, I don't know what's going to happen now that the government shut down and some of the projects that are on the books might get canceled. This might be one of them. Who knows? Because I tell you what, if that federal money goes away, nobody's really interested in putting solar in. Nobody.
And that's one of the reasons, don't you feel, that they're doing it as quickly as we can, because they don't want that money to go away, like we said. The other thing is Dave Melville that brought 2 things. Dave Melville that brought up, what about the community support? Like a GoFundMe or a bank account? Because I did have several people come up to me and said, I'll drop $1,000 in there today for support. I'll drop, so a couple of people came and said, if you guys set up something for the community, for the litigation, let us know. I don't know if we can do that.
We'll talk to the attorney today on that.
Okay, because I did have people say that.
Getting in the water, I'm not real familiar with.
Okay. And the other thing is, I got the name of that. I talked extensively to that alderman from Brookfield that spoke, several times. And remember, he was the one that said, I do have the in for Ron Johnson and whoever else, Van Orden. So he must have their direct information. So what I could do, too, because before I left, I said, can you give me your email and phone number? And he did.
Oh, cool.
So I got that information.
Should follow up
I
with
will
him and
follow
see
up
if he's
with
done
him.
and what the response
Yeah,
was.
yeah.
Does anybody remember the name of the outfit? That one gentleman was talking about a
Yes,
company that looks
I
up
wrote
the
it down.
endangered species. Was it
Yes.
Jenkins? I started looking.
Jensen.
Jensen?
Jensen Environmental. And I liked what he said too, because you know what? They provided information at that meeting for us as well, saying that, you know, I hate to say it, but we saw what happened in the town of Grant.
Yeah.
You know, but when he said an independent, and again, another thing we didn't talk about, I mean, we have talked about the UW connection with UW Stevens Point, UW Madison, but we didn't realize they are funded, you know, that they are publicly funded. You know, and there could be a possible conflict of interest, you know, there. And that's why he said about the Jensen Environmental. So
Yeah.
that's what it was.
Yeah, I haven't heard back
His
from
name is
UW.
Jensen, so it must be his company.
Oh, okay.
Because when he stated his name,
I'll look it up.
and I wrote it down.
I thought it was Jensen. I was looking at something else, Jenkins or something. I couldn't find anything.
Okay,
But
yeah, no, I wrote it down.
good.
Any other comments about the meeting from anybody? Good or bad? Didn't hear any bad.
I think everybody was pleased because it really opened their eyes up. This was all true facts, and they've been hearing
Yeah.
fake news. And I think a lot of people went out talking about this, saying, thank God we came today. So that's what I heard.
Yeah.
Any
that-
comments on Scott Krug's? I thought Scott's words were pretty insightful, but that he can't even get to the governor when he's a.
That was disturbing.
Yeah, I mean, that's, is that what our whole political system has devolved to, that we can't even talk to each other anymore? I mean, that's ridiculous. Something that's this important that he can't reach the governor. I wish the governor were watching this so I could tell him, open your door, open your ears, pay attention. I don't know how many signatures we have yet on the petition.
it's over 1,000. So.
But I think, you know, the PSC or the whatever, that document that we read that had their responses. If you recall in the presentation, there were a number of red check marks of stuff that they had done. One of them is that document that they had to do to go out. Did you conduct outreach? Okay. So yes, we did. We had this meeting. But he doesn't say how many people attended. So we know we got 5,000 or 6,000 people here, but how many attended? So if 50 people attended, versus that's not very effective outreach. So I think I'm going to pick that thing apart. And can anybody send their comments in?
Sure. Oh, yeah.
Okay. So one of the things that was going through my brain this morning was, why don't we do something that is overtly simple on our website, on the solar thing, about what citizens can do, and put a list there. Put a list there of things that they can do so we can tell them. Because if we listen to Scott, until we can get to Tony Evers, and he did say there was a little bit of light, because now that they've passed whatever legislation to give him the rights to the kingdom, that he doesn't have to listen to his own party, which I don't know
Because
if you...
he's not up for reelection. He's not beholden to.
Correct. So maybe that's an opportunity to
Yeah, I like
appeal
that.
to, if the guy has any common sense or any common decency, that the people here are screaming, we don't want this. Maybe we can get to him. But, you know, unless the people want to really do this, and that's what Scott said over and over again, you people have to be the ones to do this.
And you have to inundate them.
Yes.
Yeah, that's my recommendation with the governor's office information that we got from Scott, is that we need to get the word out that people need to do their contact directly to the governor's office, that we don't want this. And it's really got to go public, and it's really got to get talked about.
Well, and I think we've been saying that, Denise, but like, how do we do that? And one of the things, backtracking, is, remember somebody asked for a letter, like a letter they could pick up here? You know, because there were many people that said, I don't do computers, I don't download things. Can I get a letter if it's at the town hall, print it out? I will get that, I will put my information in. And that is one of the ways I think that we could inundate.
Good idea. We could put it out there with the petition.
Who wants to write it?
I'll write it. And then also, you guys.
I was do a couple different ones so the content's a little different. I mean, it's just,
Letter to the governor, letter to the president, letter to Ron Johnson, letter.
Or just letters,
Yeah.
just letters to important, our government officials, and put several different ones. That's a really
We
good
make
idea.
it real easy for them, and then then they maybe they'll do it.
Well, and the other thing is, guys, these T-shirts, like, I can't wear it every day because I don't have to wash it every day, but I wore it to the Y the day after, on Monday after the meeting. And let me tell you how many people, no solar farms, huh? I'm like, yeah, you want to talk? And so there, and there's a lot of people in that area from Rome or not from Rome, and then someone else came up to me and said, I had no idea till the postcard came. I couldn't make the meeting. What can I do?
When I'm thinking about it too, I'm getting word back, and I'll verify it would stand today, but the meeting that PSC has will be up here, not down in Madison.
Up here, what do you mean by up
I
here?
got to
In
verify
our
it, but
town?
that makes sense because when I read something else saying that they
In
have
our
to have
town, Tal?
it said Nakusa, but I'm going to talk to Stan and said, you better get a hold of these people and get some large, I don't know where they're going to get a room, but I'm thinking of a gymnasium.
The high school?
We'll find out today.
For
but
the high school?
We'll have to have something quite large, yes.
And we'll have to-
And the folks from Morgan, she said she'll bring some folks over too. I said,
Excellent.
more the merrier.
Well, what if we have it here and they can't get all in the door?
That's what we're
That's
saying.
going to send one hell of a signal, isn't it?
Right here,
Oh, here?
right here, because if they
we
can't
want
get
to
in
get
the
people
door,
in.
the news is going to show all the people that are out there.
Yeah.
trying to
It'll
get
make
in.
a statement.
Yeah.
There's
Well,
not space.
I
I don't know
don't
how many
want.
people are going to drive down to Nakusa, even though it's only.
Well, there's two meetings. I mean, there's the 2 o'clock and 6 something. There will be 2 meetings, so maybe we'll make sure we stage it. But we can load it up. I think it will be loaded up if that's the case.
And that's a Wednesday, though, isn't it?
December 3rd. Yeah.
December
There's still a
3rd.
lot of people here. So.
Oh, yeah.
How much did that postcard mailing cost?
We didn't send out 6,000. We sent out 5,000. It was 61 cents per stamp. The card itself was 9 cents. So
About
figured out.
$2,000 or $3,000.
Yeah, it wasn't a whole lot.
I mean,
Oh,
if we
yeah, you're
confirm
right.
that they're going to be here, we need to do that again.
Yeah,
You're right.
very-
And we need to make sure, otherwise, because we can't put it on Facebook because 3/4 of the people that live here probably don't get on Facebook. So, I mean, I see all those posts.
We'll handle that. Yeah. I mean, we dealt with quality in town. They were super at getting the turn. I gave them the information in the morning. That afternoon, I picked up the card. Says, oh, holy crap. Yeah.
But this time, see if you can do a mail merge, and then they can print it on the cards when they print the cards. They should have that ability to do that.
We can't print it here. She prints out labels. So that's.
No, but I mean the people that make the postcards.
Yeah, it'd be an added cost. I mean, I'll find out. But yeah.
Okay.
That's
Yeah,
a really good
actually-
idea.
It's just a file, and it loads up.
I had my wife help Michelle label them all. So.
If they have, well, if they need help, let us know.
Yeah, we can all help
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah, I mean that's what took a lot of time.
I think postcards on the
I
3rd,
agree.
about that meeting on both times. would
I'm
be-
pretty sure Quality can print it. They can print it. Well, it's a sequence. I guess they could do that. Yeah, be a
I
sequence.
just think you guys, I was so impressed when I went home and I said in less than 2 months, what we've been able to do.
Oh, yeah.
And this is kudos to all of us and to the people working out, But you guys, we've been meeting less than 2 months. July 30th was our first meeting and September 27th was that big meeting. And the word we got out, and I'm just proud of us because I think, Carl, what stuck with me was why not us?
Yeah.
And someone's like, oh, this hasn't been fought. Why not us?
There was a lot of applause when we said we were going to be the first one.
I know.
30 to 0, we're gonna do it. You know what else? People were asking about T-shirts. They said, we wanna buy those T-shirts, where can, you sell them here? And I said, no, but you can go right down the street to 13. And I don't know if they'll make them for individuals. to
Sure.
come
Oh yeah,
by.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
'Cause I sent
We
them-
sent
I did
people
mention
there,
it
too.
that she has the banners and the shirts. I didn't put a price out there because we got a discount for the group, so I just didn't say the price. But I said, yeah, Connie's she'll do them.
I sent a bunch down there because they were
Yeah.
all saying, you're selling them over here? And I said, no, we don't sell them here, but you go right down the road. at 13
Yeah.
On Route 13.
Yeah, good.
So if more people buy the shirts, we'll have more.
You go into Rapids and you go places and you wear this, people are reading those shirts. That black and yellow is sticking out and
It's perfect. Black and yellow is an eye catcher.
Okay, folks, so
okay.
do we think it's a good idea to make some button or something on our website to tell people how to get involved, or do we want to put that on the postcard?
Both.
Both. Both, because that's what kind of what people, I mean, there were people, you guys, I was surprised. There were people that heard this for the first time at that meeting.
Yeah.
All the information.
Yeah.
And there were people that came up to me when I wearing the shirt at the Y that said, I didn't know about it till I got the postcard. So what we've done has been effective, and I think both. I love the list of what can I do.
All right,
These
let's put
people
that
will
list
do
together so that we can make sure that we have a good, fruitful discussion about those things that we want to include on the postcard. What can the average, everyday person do?
And this, for that postcard, December 3rd, we got time to get that one. So it's
Yeah,
not
but
a
we don't
rush
want
job.
we don't want to give it too much time, but we want to make
No, but the last one, I mean, you're talking about snail mail. Some folks hadn't gotten it until after the fact, so.
I never did get mine. I don't know why, but it
Well, I
wouldn't
got-
surprise me.
I looked you up, you're on there.
I
so.
know.
I got two.
You got two?
I got two.
We got somebody else's mail that was on 245G instead of Z, and I circled it, put it back in the mailbox. They probably got my postcard. So, okay, so let's make a list here. I'm writing.
I think one of the first things we have to do is, on there should be, stop at the town hall, sign the petition if you have not, and pick up a letter to send. We have to make it easy if it's gonna happen. To send, I think, like you said, Carl, having a list of which people to send it and which addresses, email addresses.
Okay, so how many letters are we
snail
going to
mail.
have? And I think Lori volunteered already. She's our literary expert.
We can make up all the copies here, so, yeah.
Okay, should I make like 6 different?
That would be plenty, yeah, that would be great. And then, so if we just say that we have letters available, and some people are gonna wanna do their own anyway, but if we have letters available, and then lists of where to send them.
And you can copy and paste on the governor's site, too. We did, that button's on the site now, too. You can go right there, and it'll take you right to the site to fill out for your governor. And I would load up his mail with it. I mean, the one I originally got sent to the PSC, and it, went down a dark hole. But the other one I haven't heard back yet, so that one went in the other day.
So that's on the-
Yesterday was the first day.
It's on the
So
website?
October 1st, October 24th, loaded up, yeah, comments. And it doesn't say you're limited, so got more than
Okay.
one.
I'll send out 6.
So will we also have a copy then of who to send it to out there too?
Yeah,
Well-
that's out there.
Okay, so we have that. We'll have letters.
I'll
so
update
we-
it. I'll put, well, I got one other person. We met a fella that's Ron Johnson's, one of his assistants. I got his information added to it, and we'll send one out to the White House too, so.
Okay. So, next. Postcard.
And I'll email my response thing to all of you folks. This is what I gave the news, and everybody else. Stan's got it, so.
So let's shoot for next time for bringing your ideas of what should be on that postcard about the PSC meeting. Because I think we need to get that out sooner than later, even though we've got plenty of time. That's the worst thing we can do is think we got plenty of time. I think we should come back with, it should be very overt. What can I do as a citizen of Rome to stop the solar farm? And then boom, 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 boom. And then we could do another QR code to take you right to that spot.
Well, for the one thing that we have to do is anybody that, if you have the sheets that signed up to go to Madison, to let those people know that we're not going to Madison, but we.
I'll verify that today.
Okay, we need, if you can verify that, but we need to have you here. And I think it's going to be letting people know too, it's about numbers. Like, if people from the town of Morgan, they don't know if you live here or not, but bring your family members, bring friends that would be willing to come.
She's got a story to tell too. I mean, they had one of their meetings with the with the Xterra, and people tried asking questions when they told us we couldn't hear, and they had the police escort them out. Xterra did.
And that's where the media here would be awesome,
Yeah.
if that would happen. We need to have the media here on that day.
Yeah.
So we got, postcard with the PSC meeting, sign a petition, pick up a sign.
Letters,
Send the letters.
Yeah, that's at the top, that's the first one on the list. Stop at the town hall and pick up letters.
What about Sand Valley?
I got the number of that guy, I don't know who should call him, Steve Madden, Sand Valley. He seems to think that they don't know anything about this,
That's what I got the impression.
and he
too.
also says they got plenty of lawyers. So I'm not sure, do we want our attorney to contact Sand Valley and see if he can talk to their counsel? to let them know officially.
I can ask them. I mean, stands open to pretty much anything.
Okay.
But
I think we gotta have a meeting with the business owners, like the golf cart guy down here,
Oh.
the taverns, the
yeah,
Quick Trip, Sand Valley, have a meeting, have them come here and tell them what's going on. I
Because-
mean, to me, Nextra or Akron Solar shouldn't even be within a 10-mile radius to have a meeting in this area. I mean, and I'm sure avocados don't know what's really going on.
No.
And if you want, we can't tell a business what to do, but if somebody walks in and say, I'm gonna give you a couple $1,000 so we can have a meeting here, sure, you're gonna take it. If you don't know what's going on, I think we just gotta get everybody informed, so they're on our side.
So, okay, I like the idea of having a meeting here for the business owners. I think that would, I think what this whole ordeal has taught us is that if we don't tell them, they may not have been told. Even though you think that they should have been
Or they get a
told.
false
Yeah.
Fake news.
So how do we get a list of the businesses that we can invite?
it's on the
to
town site,
Pardon
Is
me?
it?
all the business, yeah.
It's the same way with the meeting we had last Saturday. How many people, I mean, we don't know where did they come from Arrowhead? Did they come from Camelot? Did they come from Sherwood? Does anybody have any idea? I mean, does Arrowhead really all know what's going on? Does Sherwood all know? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Was it just Camelot people that were there, or?
No.
Maybe they can put something in their newsletters. Each association.
Well, that's a good idea.
Well, then we'd have to have, maybe invite the board members from LCPOA, and like, if we have I think we should.
Tim is on the board, Tim
Oh.
Reppin, so, and they have I just submitted for Tri-Lakes to their newsletter. I submitted 2 weeks ago to Arrowhead, so that one's
Okay,
gone.
okay.
But they still have the alerts, right? They go out every Monday.
I mean, Visit Rome said they didn't want to get involved because of
Yeah.
the, and the businesses could say the same thing. Yeah, they're turning
Yeah, they
down money, but we don't want to be involved in that. So no, we don't want your meeting here.
But there is a list on the, do you
Town
think
site.
that we call them? Do you think we send something out to them?
I think Mike Irwin's probably got all their email addresses, if the town doesn't, so,
Who's Mike Irwin?
DCM.
I know him. He goes to my church.
You know, I think this is like a chess game. And right now, Nexstar's got to move. And what I saw and what I read in the paper, they addressed, and they're going to address at their meeting at Avocados, the buffer zone on 13, because I saw that in there. That was one of our biggest beefs. And the ATV trails. And I'm saying to myself, okay, what did they do in Grant over some chicken? Those prairie chickens. To shut them up, they gave them $1 million. So what if they go
Well,
to,
hang on, just because we're live, I want to make sure that I correct that record. They gave them $1 million donation, but they carved out 750 acres.
right, but what my
Move the
point,
prairie chickens.
right, what I want to get at is, to shut up the ATV, would they give them money and say, here's money for you? Because I know they're going to address that. I saw that. See, what they're doing is, as we make a point, they're not counterpointing. And it's going to be that way. And one thing I want, okay,
There's notations in here. They're saying they are having a difficult time trying to accommodate them, and they put it lightly. But the problem they have is that everything has to be fenced off. So they're not going to be putting trail. And I put that in one of my comments to the governor is that what they're going to do is make them ride the roads. They're not going to carve a path through there and have a.
No.
no.
They're going to make them ride the roads, and
So now
but-
we're going to deal with that.
yeah. Well, it's a safety issue, but the thing that they didn't address at all in there was other people that use the MFL land, the hunters, nature folks. I mean, it's going to be closed off and gone. So that's another thing we'll be talking to Stan about today.
One thing we touched up on, we haven't really
There's a lot of them.
followed up on, we need to have a contingency plan and develop it now. You brought up the fact that maybe we, as a board, and I'm talking about the town board, should sit back and put weight restrictions for truck weight restrictions and start doing it now. We need to turn around and go to the zoning board and start putting zoning ordinances in and get it done now. Because by the time, if this blows up in our face, at least we have a plan B in effect. We have to get that done now.
Well, yeah, we do, but I've already sent that to Stan, so we'll have to get approval from Stan on how to do it and how to handle it. The other thing is, too, we have to find out what kind of, I mean, Akron, I don't know what the weight restrictions already are on there. They cannot handle truck after truck of cement, going up and down the road. That's going to just tear it apart. I had mentioned to Stan, too, that I would like to see a $25 million cash bond. Talking to Lori up at Morgan, a little bitty town, she's asking for $50 million. I said, I like the way you're thinking.
Well, how about $2 billion?
Well, it's going to be huge. Yeah. It's. I don't know where we go with that, but yeah, you're right. We will be discussing.
Well, we
what those
need
options
to do
are.
something.
But they also aren't planning to break ground. They said until 2028 or 2029.
Well, I
So-
think we should do the zoning ordinance changes, even if the PSC overrides it. I
They
don't
can't.
care.
They can't override that. That's our issue. We might get sued by the Nextera or somebody else, but
However,
the PSC has no authority over our ordinances.
But
in
if
that
we're
respect.
also, I see what you're saying, Vito, because if we put something in place 2 to 3 years before something actually happens, then,
That's our backup.
well, it doesn't have to be because of them. But that's.
That's our backup. I want to have a backup plan, a plan B.
Yeah.
I mean, if think about it like
That's
a
not a
baseball
backup,
game.
but we're looking
If
at that
if the starter falters, you go to the bullpen.
Yeah.
So this is like our bullpen. We got to have something backup. We talked about it, and I think we need to act on it. We need to sit back and go to the zoning. Someone should draft something for zoning because I already.
Hold on, time out.
Okay.
We got to find out what we can and can't do.
All right,
What
all right.
makes sense. I mean, Lori's you're on Akron, and she needs a cement truck come down here. You can't have one. We have to come up with something reasonable that, how we work it and stage it. So it is a planning stage, but it'd be part of the backup. But we can't start with zoning. We got to start with the lawyers.
Okay. I mean,
Yeah, that's true.
I hear you.
I mean, I like to see things moving. I don't like to see it on paper. That's just me.
One of the things that Scott talked about was the bill that he's had in process for 3 years that he doesn't believe the governor will sign even if it passed in the Senate there. Why don't we make sure that people understand that we need that bill to pass when they're contacting the governor's office?
Well, the interesting thing that Scott
That
did,
gives more local control over what we're doing with those ordinances.
he didn't say what his compadres in the legislature were doing with that, because as far as I know, it's not been presented to the governor to veto or to sign. So what's taking so long? Why has it not gotten to his desk? Where does it sit right now? And what's going to make it get to the governor's desk? Even, I guess politicians figure out that if they're not going to win on something, then they stop working on it. But this is for us. And, those people are all elected officials. And I think Adams County is predominantly a red county. So a lot of the votes in this state that are going to elected officials are coming from this area. They ought to know that. And Scott ought to know that. So, I mean, in terms of who we vote for the next election, this should be on the ballot for all of us to look at, to remember, okay, we didn't get this done, so time for a change. And I don't understand why this is a Republican or a Democrat issue. We're people. We're Republicans or Democrats after the fact, but we live here. This is our home. And people ought to understand that we're going to fight for it. And it shouldn't matter what side of the aisle you're on. It really shouldn't. I mean, the Democrats should support this as well. I mean, they should say, yeah, these people all live here, and yeah, they have a right to say we don't want to hear. And the fact that there's 30 already, why don't they put them on all the businesses in Madison, for crying out loud? Then they can all go up and look at them. I don't know. Okay, so what else? What else in terms of the list? I'm making the list out. We got stop at the town hall and pick up letters to send, the postcard with the PSC meeting, make sure you sign the petition, pick up signs, meet with business owners, that would be not something that the average person can do, but we should pursue that. And then Vito said, contingency plan, and I think he did talk about buffers and load limits and whatnot on some of our roads.
And zoning ordinances. But I'll wait on you, because you say you want to get it cleared through the attorney. But I think we got to move on this. That's just me. I want to move on it.
We're moving on a lot. Yeah.
And if
You're
this,
right, you're right.
If this does get to the governor's desk and he vetoes it, he's going to be in the news for vetoing it. Not that it matters because he's not running for the election. So but it is essentially a politicized issue at that point in time.
Yeah.
Now I don't know whether or not there's going to be any money for this because I think somebody said if there wasn't a shovel on the ground and they cancel all the funding, then
We'll ask Stan about that. I mean, we got a lot of questions for Stan today, so.
And one of the citizens also brought up, what about, like we talked about delay, what about people, because a couple people asked me, what if we did individual lawsuits? And I don't even know if that is possible.
You need standing, so.
Yeah, okay.
class
Someone
action.
asked me.
You got to have a class action lawsuit against the PSC.
Class action.
Yeah.
With all the towns
Possible, yeah.
of Wisconsin all being part of that class action
Yeah,
lawsuit,
yeah.
that we're not getting a say. And this is big government forcing stuff down our throat that we don't want. What about, let's go back, what about to things that are going to cost them money? What about the MFL change? Has anybody contacted the people that own that land to tell them, you guys are going to have to make application to change this?
We'll have, that's top of our list with Stan today,
Okay.
so. I read through the
On
statutes.
notice, and then we
Yeah,
should
it-
calculate how much money in taxes they're going to have to pay, so that's
Yeah.
more money out of their pockets.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's be a large sum. And on top of that, I don't believe it'll be reclassified to MFL after the fact. And reading through this thing, they claim that they will dig down to 4 feet and take out all the cable, all the concrete and everything else, and then revert the land back to arable farmland.
But they're not going to plant trees on it.
They're not going to plant anything on it. Well, maybe some grasses or something, but it's, yeah, you read through this and you say a lot of promises. If you declare bankruptcy, you're out of the picture anyway. Or you're out. I mean, when they're done and the money dries up, they're not going to be around. They'll be gone.
Yeah, no, and the money is going to be.
But they did claim they would have a, they would have some kind of surety bond out there to cover costs at the end, but it doesn't say what the dollar amount is.
One other item might be is to go to each of these clubs that are here, the golf clubs, and like our little association over in the lake, and put signs up on their billboards or on their reading boards that this letters are available and at town hall, because a lot of people walk into those different places and don't use the internet. I mean, they just don't. So,
I think the postcards are going to be most effective,
Yeah.
for that.
well,
I
but
think you're going to run into some business people that want to officially, at least on the surface, be
Neutral.
neutral.
Mark, you go to the Lake Arrowhead. Did you ask them if they could put it on their marquee?
Oh, some will, some will, some.
I mean, they got it on 13 there. Yeah.
Well, I think what
So-
he's saying is like Hoozles, when you walk in, they have that whole wall of signs and information. Put a little blurb up there. Put one in Sherwood on their bulletin boards.
it doesn't have to be
You know, 'cause
big, just,
people just walk through and they.
but it has to be
look at
black and
stuff,
yellow.
and
We have a
they
sign.
go,
We can give them a sign. They can tack it on the wall.
Just put a
That's what
little,
I was just
A
thinking,
little
too.
statement up saying, hey, if you're, this is what we're doing, this is where you go. But if you look at, when you go into all the bars, they got all these bulletin boards, and they have all these stuff, what's going on. And just have a little blurb up there just to catch their eye. Couldn't hurt. If the people are willing to do that. We'd have to get permission to go into all the bars and stuff to ask, but.
Just go and ask them.
But I mean, they're just lots and lots of things.
You
to
were
read.
looking for ways. I'm just saying it's
You know,
another
just
way.
to get more publicity.
Another thing that I want to bring up is this meeting that's coming up with them. Do we want to have maybe a couple of us not wear the shirts and sit through the whole meeting and listen to what they have to say?
They do it
So-
to us.
They're gonna throw us out?
Oh, we're gonna
They
be-
can't
They
throw you
can't
out.
throw you out. You're in a public place.
You're
You can't.
They
can't
can't.
throw us
They
out.
can't. That's by
They
law.
cannot serve you any materials, but they can't throw you
They
out.
can't throw you out.
Sit
That's
there and
public.
record it. That's what
If you
they're
start
doing.
getting disruptive, that's disorderly conduct. Yeah, you got to leave.
I'm saying it's great to have T-shirts and show our, but maybe one or two.
You can
of us
wear
wanna
any
go
shirt
there.
you want. They can't throw you out for wearing a shirt.
So we.
Yeah,
I
but
think the
they-
more people they see against it,
Yeah.
and I think maybe someone that says, "Oh, free tacos, I'm going for free tacos,"
Bring the kids.
which, yeah, and they're going to, I promise you. I think that's going to make more of a statement, John. Like if people see, like, wow,
My point is that maybe we ought to have two people or one person or some people.
Plant
And maybe
some
as a
spots.
plant, he'll listen to what they're actually saying, so we can contradict like he's saying. You know,
can
they've
ask
got
some
guys
good
listen to us. Let's listen to them too.
Yeah, and we can throw back questions if we don't have our shirts on, because they don't know who or what we are.
okay, markers,
They
that's
might.
your job on Saturday.
This is all being recorded, and they're watching us.
Well, they're just in the back of your head.
Yeah, but maybe we have some of our friends go, you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Somebody, and I don't care who it is, just to report what was actually said.
Not even report, but just be the one to ask questions. I know
Okay,
what you mean.
that's a different subject, but okay, that's a good idea. And I'm going to just throw this out. The battery issue is a big issue. And I've done a little research over a couple of weeks, and I've found out that there are 9 manufacturers in the United States and there are 6 manufacturers in China that make these. All of them use this battery system. What happens if this Rome outlaws that kind of battery being put in?
That's
That
interesting.
kind of really slows them down, because there isn't another battery system that lasts long enough to make the batteries viable. In other words, other types of batteries like nickel carbon batteries have to be changed out very rapidly.
How would we
For
do
this,
that?
so maybe if we put that in, I'm just giving an idea.
I talked to Mark the other day, and I asked him to get me a cost to have the proper equipment here to handle a lithium fire. Water ain't going to do it. They're talking about putting wells in. That's not going to do it. And he said, we have nothing that'll fight it right now. He says, go get me a cost on it. So that's one part. As far as outlawing them, it's possible. I mean, again, that'll be a question for the lawyer. But that I would imagine then they would just move it across this, border up to Wood County. But who knows? It would still be another chink to go after. So we'll see.
When you say Mark, that's
Mark Kane,
from the
Fire Department, yeah.
I think Saturday we got the best opportunity. Ain't going to cost us a dime for a bunch of people to go down there and stand for 2 hours outside. I'm planning on doing it and wearing my shirt. And if I go in and eat, I mean, not eating what they're offering, I'm going to pay for my own. But it's not going to cost anybody to fire up the people in the town of Rome. We had them here on the 27th. We have 100 people standing down there holding them signs. Let's do it.
And you know what? There may be people there too that said, okay, I was here at the 27th. Now I want to hear what NextEra has to say.
The other side.
And we can stand outside and go in and listen to what
Of
they have
course
to
we
say.
can. Oh, yes, we can.
And you can ask the question, how many people here are not supporting this project? Raise your
Okay,
hand.
okay, I will ask that.
And see how many people raise their hands.
It's a free world. I mean, if they escort me out, they escort me out.
They're
It's,
not going to for asking that, but I guess one thing that's really sticking with me, Carl, is when you sent us the NextEra that it said we have community support.
Yeah, that's
You
in
might
here.
find
I mean,
that there's
that's
only
out there
20 people
public.
that show up.
The ones
might
that
find that.
paid off.
Well,
Yeah, 5, by the way. They've got 5 property owners and 1 business they've signed on so far. That's it. That's in their notes. And this was on the 22nd of December, or September, they sent this out.
Well, Nextera is not going to ask the question, how many of you support our project?
Oh, gotcha. No.
They should, because they're, for all intents and purposes, that's what they're telling the PSC, that we've already done that and everybody's happy. No, they're not happy.
But I am going to go over to avocados because I do want them to know. I mean, I don't want them to change anything. I don't want them to, but I want them to know what they're getting into. You know what I'm saying? I want them to know that, yeah, I'll talk with them.
The first meeting that they were here, when they were at Town of Rome, the first one they had, after the meeting, I was telling Mark this, I got up the tall, skinny guy who was kind of in charge of it. I was kind of standing in line to ask him a question. There was a gentleman ahead of me, and he said to him, if this doesn't work out here, I have other land.
Yeah, they do have alternates. Yes, they do.
So we don't want it. So if Nextra, Akron Solar cares about the town of Rome, they would listen to us.
Well, and that's something, Carl, you could certainly put the bug in.
And you can say that on Saturday.
In the Wisconsin town thing that we're a part of. They all ought to be working on changing their ordinances right now, right today.
Wisconsin Town Association? Yeah, yeah. They said more or less.
Wait until it started, but do it right now, right today.
I'll send you the letter that I got back from the president. But it basically was, well, go ahead and just work with them. That was his response. Yeah.
President of WTA.
Yeah.
Who elected him?
Mike Cole, I forgot his name, but anyway, yeah, that was his response. It was pretty lame, I thought. He needs a challenger. So.
Wow.
And who knows? Maybe he's on the payroll. I don't know.
Okay, well, where does he live? We'll send him to his town.
Yeah.
So going through the town association to gather towns that are all dealing with this isn't going to be an option?
He said, you probably don't want to hear this, but work with them. That's basically it. That was the response in a nutshell. That was his response.
So who put him in charge of the association? Well, that needs to change.
Right, but
Is anything, any developments on the wellhead thing with,
We'll talk about that today. Again, we're probably, after talking to the young lady from Madison, we're probably limited to that half mile, which isn't going to do a whole lot. The initial is 1,200 foot minimum. Half mile is with the soils. You know, I'm going to ask Stan if we get that pushed out. If we can push it out to a mile, it's got some legs, but we'll see. That's going to be a issue for the engineers, I guess. And trap shooters denied them also. They did approach those folks too, and they said no.
oh yeah, that's another thing. If we start to get these businesses together,
Yeah.
are they on that?
I'm sorry?
Are they on the list of the business owners? 'Cause,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I mean, they should be right here along with us.
Well, they are. Mark and I talked to the president, and they're on our side.
Okay.
They told them no, and they don't want it there because it's going to cause issues for them too.
Oh yes, it is.
So, and Mark and I we got to be on a call at 11 o'clock here with
Okay.
Stan.
So do we? And that's with the attorney, right?
Yep.
So do we want to meet then, you guys?
Yes.
To find out what a lot of the questions the attorney can you share with us the things that he says?
Sure.
Okay, and then like you said, bringing information, for the cards, and then Lori, if you have letters, I don't think they need approval, do they? Because you do such a good job. If you want to show them to Carl, the ones that we can have out there.
It'll be early next week.
Right. But I'm saying is when we have them out there, even letting them out, letting people know they're here, because people that ask for them, that would be awesome. So when do you want to meet? When do you think we need to meet? Next meeting date and time?
When is this open?
We try to pick the time and date, and then we ask if it's open.
There's a calendar out there. Usually, if October's on there, it should be.
Okay.
It should be October by now. So.
What do you guys think, when do you think will be a good time?
next week, Wednesday, Thursday?
Wednesday?
Because you want to review what we hear
Saturday.
from Saturday.
Oh, it could
Well,
be,
that's true.
If possible.
I can't meet Thursday, I'm 7.
I can't do Thursday either.
What about Wednesday?
Wednesday's good for me.
Wednesday again.
So you want me to check the date for the
Yes,
meeting?
please, Wednesday.
better check my calendar.
10? I guess.
Does that work for everybody?
That's the 8th?
Wednesday, October 8th?
Sure. All right, October 8th at 10 a.m.
Yep.
And bring your ideas for what we put on that spot on our webpage about what you can do as a citizen to help. So we have the 4 things, which are the letters, postcard, sign the petition, and pick up signs. There may be some other things.
Keep informed, so you have the right
So.
information.
One final note, our town administrator starts on Monday.
Welcome to the town.
Welcome to hell.
She's
Okay,
looking forward to it. So.
We'll wait for Darlene to get back on to confirm next
Wednesday, the 8th is available. What time do
10
you want
o'clock,
that?
Denise?
10 o'clock.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I guess that brings us to the end. Can I hear a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn?
Second?
Bonnie and Jess, okay.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, we're adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
See you Saturday.
I just
I'll be there.
20 people came through to pick up signs.
Just now?
I was watching as people were awesome out of the door.
Wonderful.
When are the rest of them gonna come?
They're all here.
Oh, they all here?
They're all here.
More will
500
come when
signs.
people start seeing them.
There's Stan.
Okay.
Cindy, I might reach out to you, ask you how that goes on Saturday.
Do it, well, hopefully I'm planning on being here. If I'm here, if I'm
would-
not babysitting, yeah.
I would.
But okay, and off the record, because we're done, do you think I should go to Avocados before?